On démarre. Alors, bienvenue à cette conférence de presse à travers...
Yes, welcome to all of you. We're going to talk about our wish for an embargo. Now, I'm going to try and to be fast, to leave as much time as possible to my colleagues and to others to put questions. I'm going to begin by recalling the situation in the east of the RDC. Now, of course, the fact that while the city of Goma may have fallen, the situation is not new. Now, we know that M23 in Rwanda, they'd already occupied much of the RDC, and this new offensive shows the degree to which Rwanda, through its army and M23, wishes to gain territory. And we're aware of this at the moment when we signed the protocol agreement, and with the significance of this for minerals and the role of the RDC. I myself wanted to ask Commissioner Insela so we could understand about the responsibilities in our own situation. He was stupefied. He said he just didn't know. Everything was fine. Well, I hope in the meantime, and given recent events, it's apparent to him that all is not well, and that he will draw the consequences for Europe as well. Now, by way of beginning, let me give the floor to a great defender of the Congolese people, but also a great defender of human rights throughout the world, Dr. Denis Mukwege, who's the Nobel Prize winner of 2014 and Nobel Prize winner 2018. My thanks to him for giving our time here. Now, I should like to tell everyone that it's strange that it's the doctor who drew my attention to the situation in RDC. And I think if this meeting had not taken place, I think I would have been even later than I was already. So thank you for giving us your time.
Merci pour la parole.
Thank you for giving me the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give you just a few figures. 800,000 American dollars, that's what's gained by the M23 through the forces which they gained illegally from Murabaya. 2,070 tons, that is the amount of coltan actually obtained at that time, and also from the RDC, which has the largest reserves on the planet. And that's the fifth time since 2014. Now, 123,000 women have been raped just in 2023. Now, these alarming figures refer to a situation where illegal exploitation of natural resources finance not just war, but also violence, extreme violence, including systematic sexual violence, transforming the bodies of our women into a war site. And there have been several international reports which confirm that Rwanda, for some years now, has played a crucial role as a hub for these minerals illegally extracted in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And since 2003, 2023, the Union has expressed its concern about the situation in Rwanda and its support for the M23 rebel group, which is also considered as facilitator to this smuggling in cobalt from there. So I think it's obvious that signing an agreement on strategic minerals with a country which uses violence to gain them raises a moral and ethical question among the countries of the EU. And what's more, various other aspects have also raised questions about the validity of that agreement. Firstly, lack of transparency. Rwanda is not a full member of the Initiative for Transparency in the Extractive Industries. It does not respect international standards in terms of transparency of revenues from these natural resources. That's a very important point I wish to underscore. Secondly, the absence of a system of due diligence recognized internationally in three types. And how can we reconcile this agreement with the fact that one of the central tools supporting due diligence And the International Tin Supply Chain Initiative has quite simply been withdrawn from the list by those in charge. And this happened after it had been shown to be ineffective. And rather, it's proved on several occasions to be an instrument used to launder these things. And we need to think about the commitments when it comes to transparency and the reality in the field. So, I repeat my concerns already expressed on the 1st of February of last year as regards the protocol between EU and Rwanda and the value chain and the need for it to be sustainable for raw materials, and the EU's approach in terms of these supplies must reflect these fundamental values. To my mind, solutions exist. It's not just dependent on Rwanda, and the solution is to gain these things directly from the DRC. But we need to remember it's crucial to cooperate directly, that is, between the DRC and the Congolese community which extract these minerals. And this must be accompanied by a real will on the part of the Congolese authorities to make reforms and to comply with commitments entered into under the Addis Ababa Framework Agreement in 2013. That agreement is part of because the EU is a co-guarantor, is supposed to ensure peace and security and regional cooperation. In order to attain the right business climate, we simply recommend to the Congolese government to set up and to implement the conditions of the Addis Ababa framework, that is reforming the army and the police, to ensure that the state is present at these extraction sites. The state is absent there. That allows for there to be smuggling of these things, promoting structural reforms of the state institutions, including reform of the finances. So, to ensure that the DRC can extract these minerals in full transparency, it is only by actually meeting these that we can consider direct purchase from the source and a transformation for local communities, something which is not possible at the moment because of the war. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I urge the European Union to reconsider this agreement concluded with Rwanda regarding extraction of minerals, and rather actively to support reforms for a transparent governance in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And only a genuinely responsible policy based on transparency and accountability in respect of human rights would actually make it possible to end this cycle of violence and allow Europeans to have access to clean minerals. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, now obviously we share all of these things. Now, we will pass on your request. Second speaker today is Amit Mainda Kitoko, who's the founder of the Lumière, who's fighting against these extremism. For this